Between all the stats and analytics, talking heads and headlines, there's always a story hidden right beneath the surface. Something everybody knows, but nobody's really talking about yet. See, that's where I come in. My name is Kaz. And this is Kaz in Effect. Cook 'em up. Most valuable player. It's the NBA's most important individual accolade. It's been held by such legends and superstars like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kobe Bryant. I said him twice, but whatever. It's the one award that you gotta hold within your life if you want to be considered the man in the NBA. But in 2019, what's really valuable? On one hand, you got James Harden, who just came off one of the most prolific scoring seasons in NBA history. He averaged 36.1 points per game. That's the most since Michael Jordan in 1986. On the other hand, you got Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Nigerian freak. Yes, I called him the Nigerian freak because he's had one of the most dominant seasons in recent memory. The best player on the best team, averaging close to 27 points, 13 rebounds, 1 block, 1 steal. He was so dominant, Shaquille O'Neal himself dubbed him the new Superman. Now, whoever wins the award this year is truly anyone's guess because the way they give it out has gotten a little too cute over the years. Now remember, this is a regular season award, but in the past, they would usually hand it out right before, say, the first game of the second round of the playoffs. And it was an amazing sight. You had Michael Jordan sitting in front of his home crowd, accepting it and giving a really impassioned speech. Or you got guys like Dirk Nowitzki who had to accept it via satellite because they got bounced early in the first round. I didn't forget about you, Dirk. Now, the MVP is usually handed out during the NBA awards show, which is weeks after the NBA Finals, weeks after we decided who already the Finals MVP is. The voting process is consisted of over 100 independent media members. Now, in the past, the votes used to go to, people who used to cover their own beats for their teams, and now they've taken that away to kind of curb from favoritism. Sometimes you would just vote for the best player in your own team because, you were just unabashed homers. Something that used to not be so frowned upon back in the day. The not so good thing is that the award is given out during the NBA awards show. And that's a change that has been so great. I mean, if you like, the Golden Globes and the Emmys and those type of things, I guess that's your fancy, but I kind of miss the days where the guy would accept a trophy in front of his hometown crowd and thank them and thank their mom and cry and do that whole thing. I mean, when's the next time you're gonna see Kevin Durant look up to the camera and say his mom's the real MVP, or have Russell Westbrook sitting behind him looking at the MVP trophy like he's about to murder somebody? We're not gonna get those type of moments anymore. How does one truly equate value in the NBA? If you're the most valuable player on your team, it's hard to go against James Harden. He went on a historic scoring binge when his team got decimated with injuries. But who's to say he's more valuable than, say, Stephen Curry, right? Because, we all know the Warriors are clearly the best team in the league, and he is the key to making that engine go. And not just that engine, but the entire league. It seems like ever since Steph Curry exploded onto the scene, the entire league has become 3-point happy. And if you can't outshoot him, you're not gonna win anything. So what's truly valuable? Does it go to the most dominant player? The guy who passes the eye test? The guy that makes you say, yo, you gotta watch this dude? Then I'd probably have to go with Giannis. All year, all he's done is just make your eyes pop out of your head with some of the things he's been able to do. But then you gotta think of a guy like Russell Westbrook, who only 2 years ago did something that we never thought we'd see. And that's averaging a triple-double for an entire season. And what has he done since then? He only averaged a triple-double for 2 more seasons. The only player in NBA history to average over 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists for over 3 years. The true reason that most of these incredible players and seasons tend to get overlooked is because of you, the NBA media. That's right, voter fatigue and the need for a narrative means that sometimes the guy who wins MVP isn't necessarily the best player or the most dominant. It's the reason why a guy like LeBron James doesn't win MVP in a row 8 years in a row. Except for maybe this year, but that's for another story. It's the reason why a guy like Shaquille O'Neal only gets 1 MVP award despite being the most dominant player for over a decade. It's the reason why a guy like Stephen Curry doesn't get more respect on his name even though he's the only unanimous MVP in history. The truth is, some stories just aren't sexy enough for MVP voters, and in turn, we start taking elite talents for granted. We start taking elite seasons and elite talents for granted, and all we start doing is spreading around who gets a shot at the MVP award, even though we give it out way after the NBA Finals MVP is decided, and way after the champagne is dried on the Larry O'Brien trophy. Or you know what? Let's just get all the way crazy. Let's just get rid of the MVP award altogether, and just give out an award for the best player and the best offensive player, because it feels like we need to be a little bit more direct when it comes to who is the man in the NBA history books. Because we need something a little bit more straightforward, right? Because when it comes to the history books, we need to know exactly who it was that was the man when it comes to the NBA. But if you want to keep things the same way, I got a great story for you. New York Knicks, Kevin Durant, most valuable player. Feels good. I like it. I like it. Learn to love it. This is your boy Kaz, and this has been Kaz in Effect. See you in Dykeman, KD. Órale!